The South African Municipal Workers has welcomed the Constitutional Court's decision that now permits municipal workers to hold public office. This ruling comes after the South African Municipal Workers Union, SAMWU, contested provisions in the Municipal Systems Act that previously prohibited municipal employees from taking up such positions. Labour has described this ruling as a victory for employees' political rights. I'm joined now by SAMWU Secretary Dumisane Magagula. A very good afternoon to you, Mr. Magagula. Thanks very much for your time. Before we get to, you've welcomed the ruling, you've issued statements and so on. What for you, going back to when this was made law, what for you incensed the most about what was being proposed, which was of course later enacted?
Yeah. For us, the challenge here is that we know the genesis of the municipal systems amendments, and genesis is something that also went to public participation, and it's something that we were totally in agreement with as SAMWU, that municipal managers cannot be political office holders because of the contradiction it poses in the workplace, where the executive mayor would be a junior politically to an administrator in a municipality. That has hampered service delivery. But at the end of the process, when this thing was about to be given to the president, we believe that there was manipulation, where it was then extended to all municipal workers. And as a result, we had to challenge it because it interferes with the constitutional rights that municipal workers and workers in general have of participating in politics without any limitation.
So you had no issues when initially this would have been confined to municipal managers and be kept at that level. But as soon as it then was spread to ordinary workers as well, that's where you had issues.
Yeah, we had no issue. Municipal managers and their direct reports are accounting officers in municipalities. They have to be accountable to the council. They have to be accountable to political leaders and the executive mayor. But if they hold a higher position, more senior, a political position, it becomes a challenge. And this was based on what we have seen. But the same doesn't apply where a municipal worker who is an administrator or a librarian is also a political office holder. Within the workplace, there will be regulations that will apply to how they perform duties, how they carry out instructions, and the municipal manager is empowered to deal with those.
My understanding is that there was a fear that you could get, let's take your example of a librarian who is the provincial or regional chairperson and who then becomes a law unto themselves precisely because they enjoy certainly within their political party, which may well be the governing party in that municipality or region or province. They then throw their weight around and they essentially dictate to the office bearers, those who have been duly elected by the people, what they should or shouldn't do.
These are the questions that were also posed in court, and both Salga and Kokta were not able to give substance to the same issue. A municipal worker doesn't matter in terms of your involvement in community participation, because participating in politics is like participating in religion. You can be a pastor of the church, but when you get to work, you are bound by the conditions of service in the workplace. And the municipal manager and other managers have the right to implement discipline where there are matters of discipline. And at the core of what we are raising is the interest of service delivery. And it is the interest of making sure that municipalities become effective. So there has been no substance, no reasons were given as to why a librarian cannot become a chairperson of a branch, and how it's going to affect their performance within the workplace, while there are rules of engagement and there are sets of rules of conduct that is expected of any employee in any workplace.
Now, in your body of evidence that you brought before the court, you, in fact, no argument, cited the fact that some workers were forced to resign from their political positions, or while others were barred from contesting elections in political parties altogether. Do you have those cases? And if so, what are you going to do with them now that the Constitutional Court has made this ruling?
Yeah, we have a number of cases like that where municipal workers were not sure what's going to happen, and they have an interest of participating in politics with the last rounds of elections within political parties. And some of the workers had to leave their jobs. And remember, a job is where you sustain your family. But if you also have this interest and you are trusted within your political party, they had to make a decision. But this ruling here that we have is to be applied retrospectively. So in cases where municipal workers were affected and they had to leave jobs in other municipalities, they were given notices and they didn't know how to deal with the notice from the municipality, and they would have left their job or they would have come to the union. We call on them to bring their matters. The ruling is to be applied retrospectively, and we should be able to deal with those in terms of making sure that we secure their jobs.
Are you going to leave it to those affected people to take the matter up, or are you going to help them, help bring those cases to the fore?
Look, on application in this matter, we were already given a number of letters of municipal workers who were affected. We have a list on our site. We will take the initiative to assist those members of the union, but we are also calling on those that we may not have in our list. If they raise their issues, we will just do a process of verification if indeed the reason they left was this particular reason, and we should be able to say, let's invoke the ruling in totality and make sure that retrospectively they are able to get back to work.
You said earlier that you took exception to COCTA and SALGA taking this matter up all the way to the Constitutional Court. How is the court ruled? Are they required to pay the cost, or what do you think should happen to them, given the fact that you're criticizing them for using taxpayers' money to defend what you thought was indefensible?
Yeah, we are deeply disappointed in SALGA. We are disappointed in COCTA because we had an engagement with them to show them that this will not stand the test of court. These amendments that they had included were unconstitutional, they were not valid, but they still persisted, and they used taxpayers' money to pay very senior advocates to make sure that they stop municipal workers from being able to use their constitutional rights. So we are disappointed, and we believe that the particular individuals who are responsible for taking this matter, defending it in court, must be held liable, and they must, at a personal level, pay this fruitless expenditure that they have cost the taxpayers' money.
With my tongue firmly in my cheek, let me ask you, are you going to stand for the position of mayor in the next local government election?
In terms of this constitutional ruling, I can stand for any position in a political party.
Thank you very much for your time.
Public service employees can also stand for any position in a political party, because this is what the issue was about.
Dumisane Magagula, thanks very much for your time. Really appreciate it.